Wir sind hier in Billund in Dänemark im Legoland, weil heute Star Wars Days sind. Das heißt, es gibt nicht nur die normalen Exponate wie die hinter mir oder einen lebensgroßen Lego X-Wing, sondern heute sind auch die Vertreter der dänischen Abteilung der 501. Legion hier. Wir haben aber obendrein auch eine Führung durch die gesamte Historie und durch die Produktion von Lego bekommen, was recht selten ist. Und wir konnten ein Interview führen mit einem der Designer für Lego Star Wars Produkte. Der hat uns einiges verraten dazu, wie er arbeitet und was noch so alles kommt, auch wenn er natürlich zu Episode 7 noch keine Details verraten kann. Zum Miniland bei Lego gehört Star Wars natürlich fest dazu. Es gibt hier Szenen zu allen Kinofilmen sowie The Clone Wars mit animierten Teilen, die oft auf Knopfdruck loslegen und so zum Beispiel die Cantina-Band spielen lassen. In einem anderen Teil des Parks findet sich dann das aktuell größte Modell aus Lego-Steinen überhaupt. Der X-Wing mit seinem eigenen Gebäude, wo er mit anderen passenden Figuren untergekommen ist, besteht aus mehr als 5 Millionen Teilen, die insgesamt mehr als 20 Tonnen Gewicht auf die Waage bringen. Die Steine wurden dabei nicht zum Abbild des X-Wing im Film zusammengesetzt, sondern zu einer vergrößerten Version des Original Lego X-Wings, inklusive Noppen und kleinem Firmenschriftzug. Über die Entwicklung dieser Originalsets wacht seit den ersten Boxen unter anderem Jens Kronvold, der Design Director für Star Wars Produkte bei Lego.
When do you decide to use new shapes and new stones, and when to use stones that you already have for complex shapes, and how do you decide when to put something in a set that's unique?
Well, I'd say when we're developing the models, we are always trying to create the models out of existing Lego pieces, and that's really because we think it's the best way also to stimulate children's creativity. So an example could be that, let's say we're going to build an X-Wing, and it would be very easy to then make a new element or new piece that looks exactly like the engine of this X-Wing. But when we look at the bricks, when we're designing, we're not looking at the bricks as what they're designed for. We're looking at them as shapes. And it means that we'll go into our stock, and we'll look at the different elements, and maybe we'll find could be a flower pot from Lego Friends. It's maybe purple, I don't know, but still, it has just exactly the right shape for this engine. And then we're just molding it in a new color, and so that's our target. We really want to do that also, again, because it stimulates kids' creativity. So when we are designing new shapes for models, it's very often for a cockpit canopy, because the clear pieces, well, that's difficult to build up. Actually, what I've got on the table here is really bad examples, because here we have used, for instance, that's an existing element, but it is in cases like this where we would create a new element. Or else I'd say it's mainly for minifigures, for helmets or alien heads or stuff like that.
And as we can see here, you are actually building those new hats and like here the Leku for Shakti out of clay, out of modeling clay. I didn't know that. And how long does it take, and why do you use this method instead of doing it all kind of in the computer?
Yeah, I think it's a surprise to many that it's actually handcrafted. But the reason we are doing that is because if we're going to create something that's really organic, like this headpiece for Shakti, well, you can do it on computer, but it's going to look maybe a little bit technical. But if it's hand sculpted, then it's possible to get it look right. But I must say we are also we're not going directly after the reference we have. We're also making it so it fits to the minifigure. So sometimes simplifying a little bit, but it just worked best. And as you can see here, the sculpts, they're done in scale 3:1. And the reason for that is because it's super hard to get all the details right on the one-to-one scale figure. So we are sculpting in this size, and then the finished sculpt will be video scanned, and then we'll have a computer file that we can generate the element from, or actually the mold for the element.
And you already told us, like with a set here, with a Death Star, you just rewatch the scenes and look at it. But if you do something new, for Rebels, for instance, or anything else that comes out for Star Wars new, how early do you have access, and how strictly is that defined? Do you just get the designs, or do you actually get told what it's supposed to be, stuff like that?
Well, we are, of course, we are involved very early, and we have access to reference via Lucas Disney on all the new stuff. Super exciting, of course, and it's very different. Sometimes we receive very early concept art, and that's enough for us to decide, well, this looks like it could be a cool toy, and then we start making a sketch model, and sometimes we get, and then later in the process we get more finalized reference. So, but we are of course basing it on official reference, and that's something we have available relatively early.
And if you work on a new set or a new ship, are you kind of just working by hand, like the classic Lego building that you did as a kid, or is it in the computer, or do you work with plans? How does the set come together?
Well, typically most designers, I say almost all of them, start building. It's where we're working. We're sitting at our desk, and behind us we have shelves containing basically all kind of Lego bricks in all kind of colors. So we then just start building. And here in this case, we are using the reference as inspiration for the model. But it's not something that, it's very, very rare that we use the computer when creating a sketch model or creating a model.
And when you decide for a new product, for a new Star Wars product like Rebels, for instance, how many sets are going to be there? How many ships? Does Lego decide, or does Lucas decide, or is that kind of something that you do as a joint venture to decide what is going to be made playset?
Well, it's deciding on the assortment and what it should be related to, if it's Rebels or Classic or whatever content. That's really something that's up to us. We are deciding. Of course, when we are creating things, also when we are making an assortment, it needs to be approved by Lucas Disney, and they have also big experience in making toys, of course. So we listen to them, but in the end, it's us that's deciding what we want to create as Lego models.
Die Lego-Fabrik in Billund dürfen Gäste eigentlich nur als Teil sehr spezieller Touren besichtigen und dann weder filmen noch fotografieren. Wir bekommen allerdings eine Sondererlaubnis, die Wiege der Lego-Steine im Bild festzuhalten.
Wir sind hier im Produktionsteil der 500 Meter langen Fabrik, die hier in Billund ungefähr die Hälfte des Gesamtoutputs von Lego überhaupt produziert. 24 verschiedene Arten von Plastik werden hier verwendet, je nachdem welches Teil man herstellt. Und es wird alles per Röhren hier abgeschlossen, im System reingepumpt, damit es nicht verschmutzt wird von den Farben her. Und dann bei ungefähr 200 Grad in Titanformen reingepresst. Und es dauert dann nur 10 Sekunden ungefähr, bis es abkühlt, und dann wird alles direkt abtransportiert. Und hier läuft nahezu alles vollautomatisch, das heißt, Roboter fahren dann auch die fertigen Stücke hier hin und her und holen neue Plastikkisten, um das Ganze zu transportieren. Das Ganze kommt insgesamt auf einen Output von 52.000 Steinen pro Tag. Das sind, glaube ich, ungefähr 80 Tonnen Material. Und wir haben vorhin auch noch ein bisschen was dazu gelernt, dass es damit auch viel zu tun hat, vorherzusagen, wann welche Teile gebraucht werden. Dass halt zum Beispiel zu Weihnachten sehr großer Bedarf ist und dass man rechtzeitig vorproduziert und dergleichen. Das heißt, das hier ist eine unglaubliche Logistik und die größtenteils wirklich automatisch läuft. Die meisten Leute, die wir hier gesehen haben, fahren dann größere Chargen von Sachen durch die Gegend, aber hier an den Maschinen steht niemand. Diese unheimliche Menge an Waren, die hier produziert werden, das schafft man natürlich auch nur, wenn diese vollautomatischen Sachen durchlaufen. Also hier wird wirklich 24/7 produziert, mit ganz wenigen Ausnahmen. Ich glaube, um Weihnachten und Ostern herum wird das Ganze hier ein paar Tage stillgelegt, aber ansonsten ist dieser Level von Aktivität hier kontinuierlich. In kleinen Mengen wird das Granulat hier gar nicht erst angeliefert. Das hier ist nur eins von den 4 Lagerhäusern, die es hier gibt. Und soweit ich das verstanden habe, ruhen alleine hier 1 Milliarde Steine und warten darauf, weiter transportiert zu werden zur Abfüllanlage. Und alles funktioniert auch hier vollkommen von alleine, gänzlich automatisch, mit großen Robotern, die hin und her fahren und die einzelnen Kisten hochbringen oder wieder runterholen, je nachdem, was wo angefordert wird und was hier anfällt.
Im Lego Ideas Haus befindet sich unter anderem das Museum zur Firmengeschichte. Von Holzspielzeug des Gründers Ole K. Christiansen über die ersten Plastiksteine bis hin zu den neuesten Produktlinien finden sich hier alle Meilensteine des Lego-Erfolgs.
Christian ist ein sogenannter Cultural Mediator für Lego. Das heißt, er führt unter anderem auch Leute hier durch und erklärt alles. So Christian, we've seen how Lego as a firm, as a marketing sign kind of changed over the years. What do you think was the most important part, the invention of the system or something later?
It's the cornerstone of the success of this company is and will always be the Lego brick from 1958 and the fantastic clutch power you get from the bricks. You know, the tubes underneath the bottom that allows you to combine your bricks in so many new ways. You know, that is the key and will always be the key for the success of the Lego brand.
And how important is it for you to also work together with the fans? You have like kind of Lego Ideas, Cuso, as it was called before, and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic. You know, it's fantastic to have a very big group of people that really, really love what we do and love our products. And they are experts in Lego bricks. You know, so what we discovered was, you know, that we could learn from them. If we talk with all these fans, you know, we can actually also learn something and we can improve our products, you know. So it's a nice pool of knowledge that we also can dip into.
And which room here in this museum is your favorite? So,
oh God, I don't think I have any favorite rooms because, you know, I'm quite a sort of a Lego history nerd, so I sort of love everything. But of course, you know, the room we're standing in is quite amazing. You know, it's a room that we made to honor that Lego Star Wars was, you know, the first licensed products that we came up with more than 15 years ago in 1999. It's a nice room. It gives a nice feel, and it has a wow factor when people enter it, for sure. Yeah.
And with the licensed products, I think a lot of people got the feeling that now the ready-made packaged Lego is more important than just the loose bricks, or is that kind of wrong?
It depends on how you see it. You know, we still have all the buckets of bricks you can buy. You know, but it's how you play with your Lego bricks. You know, there's no one who says that you have to build whatever on the box. It's a suggestion, and you will have a nice building experience if you do it. But what happens with a lot of children, I think, is what I did myself was when I built what was on the box. And I thought that was fantastic, and I got a very nice building experience. But then after playing with that for a while, I pulled it all apart, and I put it together with all my other Lego bricks. That's where the magic happens, because now you just have a very big pile of Lego bricks in very many different colors. You know, so the one doesn't really have to stop the other.
And is it kind of, does the demographics change for Lego? So it is a children's toy, but a lot of it is also geared towards adult collectors. At least I hope so.
Well, you know, we are a company who produces toys for children. You know, but we do of course also acknowledge that we have this large group of adult fans, and you know, so once in a while I suspect we will produce a product that is more appealing to them, but bottom line is that we produce toys for children. That's who we are here for. Yeah.
Okay. And you said you are kind of here the history nerd. When did that start? Did you really kind of ages 3 and up start with Lego and Duplo?
Like I suspect most Danes, you know, you've sort of been brought up with a lot of Lego products. You know, of course I played with other toys as well when I was a child, but you know, I also played with a lot of Lego bricks, you know. And I think it's just a big part of many Danish people's childhood. And I think many Danish people would have sort of a little dream wanting to work for the Lego Group at some point when they think back of their memories from their childhood. And that's exactly why I'm here.
In vielerlei Hinsicht ist Lego, und das nicht nur in Sachen Star Wars und kommender Inhalte, recht geheimniskrämerisch. Aber zumindest in einige Bereiche der Arbeit des Spielzeugriesen konnten wir einen Einblick erhalten. Vom Gießen der einfachsten Steine bis zum fertigen Set, das im Thronraum des Imperators auch mal eine Treppenstufe mit Schleuderfunktion enthalten darf. Denn am Ende ist das alles, wie gesagt, immer noch für Kinder gedacht.